this computer.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chasing rod, built in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with the steady beat, have not our weary feet come to the place, come to our Father's side. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright story stands. God of our weary ears, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever in the path we pray. Oh, let's not be safe from our God where we Let's have our hearts drunk with the wine of the world. We forget thee. Shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand. True to our God, true to our native land.
Good
Hello.
morning. Go ahead, yeah.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 11th and 12th grade community meeting. What I am going to ask everyone to do is, if you don't see one of your peers from Ensemble, please reach out to them to get them on this community meeting as soon as possible. We are missing quite a few students. So please make sure you reach out to your peers now to get them on so that they're not missing any information that we're going to share today. But welcome, everyone.
Yes, welcome. So I just want to open up by reminding us, what we do in these meetings. This is our check-in meeting for trimester 2, which means that we're going to do a lot of making sure that you have critical information and updates that you need. And at the end of the trimester, of course, we'll have our growth and achievement community meeting. I just want to share some quick reflections. First and foremost, thank you to all of the family members that are here as part of our meeting today. And just as a reminder, you're always welcome at our community meetings, and I'm glad that you're here. We will record this so that we can share it if anybody does miss it. So if you're a student and your caregiver is not here, this is something that you'll be able to direct them to, all right? So I cannot believe that it is February. Whew, what a year so far. After a very intense finish to last year, I want to really just thank everyone for their continued hard work and trust during this time. And to our 11th and 12th graders, we are so beyond committed to ensuring that you are ready for your senior year, ready for what you plan to do after you leave us. And I think one of the things I just want to make sure you know is that you have a right to ask for help, and you also have a right to speak up if something doesn't seem right or if you need support. Sometimes, as with all of us, there is miscommunication. Sometimes there's a little bit of confusion in remote. I know sometimes it feels like a lot of messaging or trying to remember, where do I go to find this or that? And we've been trying to help you bookmark important things and stay on top of the information that you need. But I also recognize that it's harder in remote, just like everything's been harder in remote. So it is just so incredibly important, not just for your preparation for post-secondary, but it's important right now that if you need something that you're not getting, if you have a question that hasn't been answered, if you're struggling to find something, there is never any shame or reason why you shouldn't speak up. And that's a really important life skill. Now, the other side of that is to make sure that you're doing that in a way that is clear and respectful. And again, if you ask one person and they don't have the answer, ask somebody else. If you ask somebody for help and they don't have the time in that moment, either circle back and make a plan for a later time or ask for help from somebody else. Because our job, every one of us, is here to serve you and to make sure that you are ready for college, post-secondary endeavors, whatever you dream to do. So I'm excited to share just some updates on where things are at. And I continue to ask that you stay laser focused on the present moment, because there is still so much that we don't know about the future. And if we let that overwhelm us and cloud our vision, we're going to lose sight of the present moment. And in the present moment, a lot of incredible things are happening, whether we're talking about NX completion, podcasts being created, projects, college acceptances, scholarship applications, senior capstone projects. So much is happening to be proud of. And I know that there are still bumps along the way. I know that there have been disappointments, even as soon as yesterday, right? But I think also in honor of Black History Month, when we think about even Lift Every Voice and Sing, or the messages, right? If you see my message, can you see from Miss Obama, right? History has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take on a life of its own. So let us not forget, when we're in those moments where we are struggling to see the future or struggling to make sense of what's happening, in the moment or struggling to find the strength in ourselves to persevere. Let's remember the shoulders that we stand upon. Let's remember the legacy that we have a responsibility to protect. And we can generate courage, and we can make hope visible. We can make hope visible every day, but it will continue to be a choice, okay? So stay focused, advocate for what you need, do it in a way that's professional and clear, and just please continue to trust that your school community is here to support you. Thank you so much.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. So we're going to get right into our student rights and responsibilities. So we're just going to highlight a couple of them that we really want to stay true to. So R1 is be on time, work hard to shine, attend school regularly, punctually, and make every effort to achieve in all areas of your education. R5 is don't violate, create, behave in a manner that contributes to a safe learning environment and which does not violate other students' right to learn. And lastly, we want to look at R9, which is respect and believe, to be polite, courteous and respectful towards each other, regardless of perceived age, race, creed, color, gender, gender identity, gender expression, religion, national origin, citizenship, immigration, sexual orientation, physical or emotional condition, disability, political belief, and refrain from making slurs based on these criteria. We also have some new rights and responsibilities that we're also staying true to. R24, which talks a lot about keeping our parents and our families involved and up to date and to speed on what's going on in our school, our events. We have R6, sharing information with school officials regarding matters which may endanger health and welfare of members of the school community. So please, if there's any concerns, any issues that are arising, please feel free to reach out to the staff, leadership, your counselors, with any concerns. And then R23, provide leadership to encourage fellow students to follow established school policies and practices.
Okay, so let's touch base on our first responsibility, be on time, work hard to shine. So right now, everyone, with the whole school, our overall attendance is 89.8%. Remember, as a school, our goal is 94%, so we definitely need to do some work on that. In terms of 11th and 12th grade, as you can see, this green is students that are attending class, they're meeting that 94% that they're supposed to. So real shout out to the 12th grade, where more than half of you are meeting that goal. 11th grade, we definitely got some work to do, but shout out, keep on doing that work to make sure you are attending school, all of your classes, you're touching base with your ensemble facilitator each day in ensemble, and doing everything that you need to do to attend all of your classes. And then also, just as a reminder to everyone, anything that happens off campus still counts. We even though we are in a remote setting, we want to be there to help you as much as possible, still build our school culture, make connections with peers. We know that everyone completed the SEL screener a couple of weeks ago, and we still want to make sure that we're supporting each other, even with peer-to-peer accountability. So even for all of the students that were peer tutors during the intervention week, shout out to you because you really are following through with this responsibility on supporting your peers to do what they need to do. Which brings me to the shout out. So out of the 11th and 12th graders, we had 8 students: Yolanda, Gersh, Emily, Hope, Joandy, Notori, Chanel, and Rachel. Shout out to the 8 of you for supporting your peers in completing their work from trimester 1.
And I just want to interject, peer tutoring has not gone away. So regardless of whether you ultimately ended up peer tutoring or not, we will continue to match you. If you're a peer tutor, unless you message us and say, I don't want to be a peer tutor anymore, we'll continue to match you with students that request a peer tutor. And again, just with leadership credit, right? What are you working towards? You're working towards swag, being able to throw your own virtual party, gift cards, things like that. So every bit of time that you accumulate leadership credit, you will earn those things. And remember, you can pick up anything that you earn unless it's sent electronically when you come to get your supplies prior to T3.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about leadership credits. So how can you get leadership credits? Any act that helps to resolve conflict, mentorship, as Ms. Keene just talked about, tutoring and supporting your peers, peer mediators, attending and supporting community events, including outreach events, community service, youth court, and the core program, as well as our student government. And so we want to recognize our top earners for cohort class of 2021. We have Nature W, congratulations, who has already accumulated 4 leadership credits, as well as Emily R in cohort 2022, who has currently has 3 leadership credits. So congratulations to you guys. And we're going to do Starfish Points, Mr. Pinkett.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. So going through Starfish Point, we are proud of you for all that you're doing and staying on top of things. Right now, artist scholars will receive Starfish Points for the following participation efforts: Zoom class, ensemble, R1, reflection time, and office hours. You will receive 10 points. Mobile recording studio sessions, 10 points. After school clubs and SST groups, 10 points. Wednesday conference with ensemble facilitator, 10 points. Counseling sessions, 10 points. Submission of a virtual social media challenge like the No Rush Challenge, 20 points per submission. Student college career newsletter responses, 10 points. Return of loaned Chromebook computer in good condition. When we return, that will be 100 points. Return of each loaned school item, such as ELA novel, 20 points. How we are doing at this point, we're going to shout out class of 2022 and where we stand. So in first place, you have Caitlin with 1,180 points. Second place, Alba, Yolanda, and Evelyn with 1,000 points. Third place, Joseph, Deanna, and Emily with 970 points. Fourth is Gersh with 960 and Chelsea 940. Congratulations, you guys. Top earners for class of 2021. First place, Willis with 980, Joe Andy and Joan, second place with 960, Hope, third place with 910, Iana, 900, all right, Iana, and 890, Malaysia in fifth place. Congratulations, folks.
And just really quick, we wanted to share some data from trimester 1 incompletes. So shout out, we had 83 students out of the 11th and 12th grade that had 0 incompletes ending trimester 1. So I want to shout all of you out. And then as for the students that did have incompletes, as of last week, 22% of you had, or 22% of the incompletes had been made up. And then I just wanted to share attendance with everyone. So definitely, attendance was not as high as we would like it to be during the intervention week. We will be doing this again for trimester 2. So just make sure that we are doing everything in our power to be meeting with our teachers, especially when they're reaching out to you to support you with your assignments. That's what they're here for. So please make sure you take every advantage that a teacher provides, which, as a reminder, every single Wednesday from 1 to 1:45, there is time for you to work on this makeup work for incompletes if you still have one. The last day to earn credit or to submit work is March 17th, which is the last day of trimester 2. So make sure you are going to R1 Reflection. Your teacher should have shared you on a calendar invite, and every single Wednesday, we're going to send you an updated email with the work that you still need to do or the incompletes you still have. So make sure you are looking for that.
All right, so I'm just gonna get you guys updated on how we're doing with the college application process. I know for the seniors and the senior EFs, you guys have been a little bit bombed with like information and deadlines and all that stuff. So now we got some happy news for you guys. We're just gonna let you know where we are. So we're at 75% of our seniors have already applied to colleges. So shout out to you guys. So far, for our financial offers and scholarships that we know of, we have $572,972 offered over the 4 years. So some of them were broken up by like each year they get like 17,000. Some of them are getting offered over the total of 4 years. But this is an amazing number, for especially for our founding class. So shout out to you guys. This is a testament of how hard you've been working these 4 years, despite all the challenges that you guys have had. So I'm very proud of you. And the best news ever, right now, we currently have 15 students who have received acceptance letters. And out of those 15 students, they have been accepted to 32 colleges. So shout out to you guys.
And also, just as a reminder, a lot of the acceptances start coming in March. So be on the lookout for those.
Yeah, this is very early. Like most of our deadlines, like a big deadline was Monday, February 2nd for like most of the schools, February 1st for most of the schools. So the majority of our students have gotten applications in within the past 2 weeks. So those are just the students that got the applications in early. So come March and April, those numbers will look totally different. This is just a sneak peek of some of the students that have got accepted. We're working on making Instagram posts for each student as they get accepted. So we started with these, and then the acceptances just started to roll in. You'll see on the next page. Oh, here you go. So those were like the first 4 that came in. So we had time to make them a nice little fancy thing. Don't worry, the rest of the seniors, we are going to have one of those for each of you. The past 2 weeks have just been crazy as far as the applications going in. But this is a full breakdown of all the students who have got an acceptance letter and what schools they have got accepted to. For the seniors, we're going to continue to keep you updated in the info spotlight. This will be a running slide. One suggestion that I would have, if you apply to a couple schools and you're not sure exactly where you want to go, make sure and look at this and see where your peers and your friends are going, and then talk about, do you guys want to go together? Because going to college is a scary thing, right? But if you go there with some people that you're familiar with, this makes the transition a whole lot easier. If you look at this, you can see that there are a lot of similar colleges there. That could be one thing that we work on towards the end of the year as well. It's working to group you guys and ship you off to the colleges of your choice.
So congratulations to everyone that is getting accepted. Be on the lookout for those acceptance letters. Please share them with us. You'll do that in Ensemble next week. But definitely a shout out to everyone that's gotten accepted so far, and also for all that have applied to their schools. So we're going to go into some reminders. So first, everyone, make sure you have our student info site bookmarked. We are continuously updating that. So as you can see, we also are posting notifications at the top of key updates that affect all students. Progress reports are now generated directly in PowerSchool. So if you click on the button, it will share you with all the directions of how to get to your progress reports. But this site will always be updated. You have all of your, you have the class of 2021, class of 2022 to get all key information. Students are still sending emails that a lot of the information that you need is on this info site. So please make sure you're going on here. So like, for instance, if you missed the info spotlight, those always get updated as well.
And on top of that, we also have our wellness resource center. So If you, I know some of you have already looked on some of the resources that SST, your counselors and your RAFs have put up a lot of the resources. So if you ever need any support in self-care, clinical services, you just need some hotline numbers, supportive services, restorative practice services, food pantry, all of that, please connect with your counselors, along with the student info website that has been linked in the chat. The link to the Wellness Resource Center is also in the chat as well.
Just as a reminder to everyone, if you forgot who is here to support you, so I am the assistant principal to support both 11th and 12th grade. The 11th grade team, Mr. Pinkett is your cohort counselor. Ms. Hossein, starting after February break, is going to be supporting a lot more with you guys and meeting with you for college career stuff. We have all the ensemble facilitators, and then 12th grade, just a reminder of who you can reach out to if you have questions. Also, a quick reminder, create grades. We just want to share this reminder one more time. It is done each week. You earn your create grade by participating in your Zoom and discussions, right? So if you're not going to your Zoom classes, you're missing out on your create grade. Obviously, teachers are posting them on Google Classroom as well, but some of them happen in your Zoom classes. So if you're not going, you're missing out on those points that can't be made up. So it is really important you're going. They can't be made past up their due date. So make sure you're going to your classes. Miss Keene.
Yes. All right, excuse me. Sorry, frog in my throat. We have a reopening town hall tomorrow at 6:30, which you and your parent can attend to hear more about reopening thoughts. You can see that it's titled On-Site Intervention Update. And that's because I think we should stop referring to what we're trying to do as blended or hybrid learning. What we're trying to do is create an opportunity for a select group of students to be on site 2 times a week, where they would receive intervention, support with completing NXs, counseling if needed. And also this would include students that have senior capstone projects. So right now, our superintendent has communicated that the next possible date that would occur or start is March 15th. That is not my decision, and it will continue to be messaged and updated from our superintendent. I'm doing everything that I can to make sure that this opportunity is available to the students that need and deserve it. And I assure you of that. That being said, there are forces outside of my control as well. And we're of course monitoring the safety guidance, right? So there's a lot of different pieces, but I want you to know that that is what we're trying to create as an opportunity for students that I know need this. And I know that some of you really do want and need to be on site to a certain degree, and we're trying to make that possible. I will update you and go into some greater depth tomorrow when I address families at the reopening town hall, 6:30.
And also just as a reminder, Wednesday office hours, this is a time to check in with your teachers if you're missing work, if you need support with work. Definitely go to office hours because we want to end trimester 2 with no incompletes, and these office hours are the time to get that support. So this way you don't have any incompletes. We don't want to be going into trimester 3, especially seniors that need, and juniors that need the credit for graduation. You don't want this incomplete hanging over you as a possible reason you may not graduate on time. So please make sure you're going to your office hours to get any support that you need on assignments that you might be struggling with. We want to make sure that we are ending the trimester with no incompletes. Okay, so we are in full swing of college and career readiness. So just a few updates for each grade. So seniors, the time has come. College applications are due by next Thursday, February 11th, before we go on mid-winter recess. Some colleges, their deadlines have already passed. We are setting though as the deadline to make sure everything is done for next Thursday before midwinter recess, because Ms. Hossein needs to send these applications and all of the documents, your transcripts, to their colleges. I know on Monday she was working hard because there was a big final push to meet some of the deadlines that were February 1st. We need to make sure that does not happen. And that she has time to send everything in case something is missing. So February 11th is the deadline. The other thing, FAFSA needs to be completed. I know yesterday in Ensemble you worked on looking at different financial aid, and a lot of financial, or pretty much all financial aid, is not available to students unless they complete FAFSA. You can get scholarships, but if you don't do your FAFSA, you're not going to be eligible for loans through your college. You're not going to be eligible for TAP or any type of grant. So please make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're submitting scholarships. We have a lot of kids that have been using Go Mary and submitting scholarships. I want to shout all of you out for doing that. Reminder, when you are accepted into college, please complete this form. I'm going to put it in the chat, so this way Ms. Hossein and all of us know, and we do update your Naviance. And then next Tuesday, we're just going to do a progress check-in Ensemble on what you've done so far in terms of applying to colleges, making sure that your post-secondary plans are all set. So please be on the lookout for that. And then just as one other thing, SUNY is having an application week. So if you need support or if you have more questions from SUNY colleges, they are having this application week while we are in midwinter recess. Here's the link that you can go to sign up for slots to meet with a college rep. So if you have any questions about the schools, you can ask them directly. And then last but not least, for 12th graders, some incentive stuff that we're working on is for every senior that has a finalized post-secondary plan. This means that you've met with myself or Ms. Hossein to have a finalized plan of what you're doing after you graduate. It doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to college. It could be that you're going to a trade school. It could be that you're going into the workforce, whatever it is. When you have finalized that post-secondary plan, you'll get your senior t-shirt. We are trying to plan on doing a fun activity with the t-shirts. So stand by on that. And then you're also can earn different rewards of a pin, a mask, or one of these signature beach balls for applying to 10 colleges, applying to at least one CUNY school, and finishing your FAFSA and TAP applications. But seniors, I need to put this. I need you all to remember you didn't graduate yet. You still have a few months to go. We know you're getting those colleges acceptances. We know at this final stretch of the leg or the race, everyone starts getting that senioritis a little bit. I know when I was in high school, I did. But you need to remember, we still need to send your final transcripts. We needed to send mid-year transcripts. Colleges acceptances are conditional. You still need to graduate. You still need to finish your classwork and finish strong. If you don't finish strong, colleges do have the right to turn down your acceptance. So please make sure you are not slacking off. You're still doing what you need to do, because I would really hate to see you get into your dream school and then because you decided to slack off, they turn you down at the last minute. Please make sure you're doing all of your work. You're on track for graduating. I will be calling students one-on-one if I am concerned that you are not going to earn the credit. because there are a few of you that still have credits here and there that you need to make sure you pass. So please make sure you're doing everything to finish and graduate. Now for 11th graders, when we return from break and actually starting next week, you are going to start the formal college application process. Believe it or not, from now until the end of the year, you're going to have a meeting with Ms. Hossein about your post-secondary plans. You're going to make your Common App account. You're going to start picking the schools you're applying to. You're going to write your personal statements. You're going to request letters of recommendation, and you're going to attend a virtual college fair. So be on the lookout for that. And for all of the juniors that complete these 4 things, you will get a prize at the end of the year. So you need to meet with Ms. Hossein, have a rough draft of your personal statement, select 2 teachers for letters of recommendation and actually put them in Naviance, and selected at least 4 colleges to apply to, one of them being a CUNY school. So please make sure you're working towards these benchmarks to finish your junior year strong, to make sure you're in a great place for your senior year. Juniors, just some updates. So seniors are going through this right now, but for the seniors right now, their college applications, SUNY and CUNY schools made SAT and ACT optional if they wanted to send their scores. We haven't heard yet what it's going to be for when you apply to college, but I just wanted to put this on your radar so you know what colleges decided to do. They decided to look at what classes you're taking and how you're performing in those classes, and what classes you decide to take your senior year as the alternative for sending in SAT scores. So even though you may have the credits you need to graduate, they are looking to see if you're still pushing yourselves your senior year, to make sure that you are still trying to be the best that you can be, if you don't send your SAT scores. With that being said, with the proposed possible date of going in person for the intervention of March 15th, right now, New York City has announced that they are still doing SAT days. 2 of them are Tuesday, April 13th. The other one is Tuesday, April 27th. Obviously, we still don't know fully what's coming down the line. We are going to ask students if they are interested in sitting for the SAT, because obviously we want to see who would like to sit. But as we get more details, we will share them. We don't have everything yet, but I do want to put on everyone's radar. We did give you those SAT prep books. We are going to start after school SAT prep just to help get students prepared if they are interested in sitting. But I don't want everyone to push it off saying, oh, this may not happen, so I don't need to be studying for it. So I just want to put this out there in the universe for you all to hear it, that there may be the possibility that you could sit for the SAT, and that you should still be preparing for the exam.
All right. So this is this thing, right, that I remember talking about over 3 years ago with you all when we first met. I remember that the way that we started talking about it was we looked at examples of senior capstone projects from Boston Arts Academy. They were on little strips of paper, and we asked you to look at them and think about what stood out to you in those projects. And I remember you talking about, you know, the fact that they were making an impact in the community, or that they were challenging, complex, involved the arts. And here we are. And I just want to remind you all that there's never going to be another class of students doing this for the first time, just like everything else that you've paved the way for. It may not hit you right now, but at some point, I hope that it does, in terms of recognizing that it's going to be your fingerprints on this first blueprint, which may look different in 10 years. But it's going to be your names in your projects that next year become the model for our next cohort of students engaging in this. And so I am just really, really proud that we persisted in this vision. And here we are with this group of students who completed a grant proposal. And all of you should have an invite from me to meet this afternoon at 3 o'clock. We're going to meet with Mr. Williams, Mr. Mormon, and Ms. Moore. And I'm going to be just going over the next steps in this process, which include, as you can see, a judging night and day on February 24th and 25th. So you'll be a part of one of these dates. And this is where our panel of judges will be giving you feedback and also allocating funding as needed. And on that note, please, if you can, and you think that you could help us raise some funds, we have a GoFundMe account in support of these projects. So again, thank you for your hard work. Everybody's going to be participating in a senior capstone project if you are in the arts trimester 3. And even if you're not in the arts, I'm speaking to my seniors right now, even if you're not in the arts, there can be a place for you if you want to get involved. So basically what's going to happen, trimester 3 in your arts classes, those of you whose projects get funded, selected to move forward after February 24th and 25th, you guys are going to start forming little committees and assigning roles and tasks and timelines. And this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. And I can't wait to see what you do. And then at the end of the year, I just recently had a meeting with Mr. Williams about trying to, he's really passionate, as am I, making sure that there's a celebration at the end of the year specific to our work in the arts. And we will also have a special honoring of these projects, because they not only represent a ton of your work, but they also represent the power of your ideas and the strength of community. So thank you, and I'll see you at 3. My picture from Queens Museum did not make it on this slide, but you can always ask Notori or Ayana, because they were with me the day that we were looking at this, but this has not changed, okay? We still have a prom date, and we still have a graduation date, and we still have a venue for that, and they're both functioning. So unless something changes, that's what we're doing. This is a picture of the big boat where we're gonna have prom. And then on Tuesday, June 29th at Queens Museum, which is a gorgeous space, that's where we're gonna have graduation. And it is an afternoon graduation. At first we thought we were gonna have to have it at night, but we were able to finesse it to be in the later afternoon. So you'll be able to go to graduation, get your picture taken beforehand in the beautiful environment, go to graduation, and then go to dinner or something. All right. And we will, of course, keep you posted. But as of right now, I'm not concerned about not being able to do this, right? We might have to wear masks or something, have some parameters, but these are late in the year and we'll see how things look. But as long as they're functioning, as long as they're open and functioning and able to accommodate us, you guys, our senior class is a little class. We don't have hundreds of people, so we should be able to pull this off, and that is our intention. And you shouldn't think that anything's changed unless I message otherwise.
All right, so you're probably wondering what in the world is going on with student government. What are some of the decisions that they're making? What are some of the events that are occurring? We do have a student government newsletter that goes out every month. We do have one that has our January and February that's coming up, and I'm actually going to put it in. Oh, it's already in the chat already. Thank you, Mr. Bowley, for that. So please check out the newsletter for student government. It's a great way to just get updates on what's occurring in our school community, what's occurring outside of our community, and some of the great things that student government is doing. So please, I ask that you look that up. One of the things that student government is a part of, and we're putting it to our artist scholars, is the fact that we do have a youth summit. We have an opportunity to be a part of this. which would be an amazing opportunity if you are interested in being a part of that youth summit. Please, the link is in the chat. You can fill out that form or you can reach out to Miss Manat, who is also working with student government on this particular project to plan for the June's Rockaway Youth Summit. So please, if you're interested, let us know, because planning will start taking place February 12th after school. So please bear that in mind. Looking ahead, upcoming dates. So Black History Month from February 1st to February 28th. So you probably have been getting some emails from our 10th grade counselor, Mr. Grant, highlighting some influential individuals from the Black community and highlighting some people who have done some great work in the world. And so this is the individuals, and we have events that we're going to be sharing during ensemble and specifically in the info spotlight. You should have already been talking about or shared upon the info spotlight that highlights some really awesome individuals that have paved the way for many of our Black leaders. And also a lot of our staff members are taking part in this celebration. February 11th, college application deadline. February 12th to the 21st is midwinter recess. There is no school that day for that week. March 17th is the end of the trimester. Trimester 1 and last day to submit work for trimester 1 incompletes. So please bear that in mind. March 18th is our 4th virtual excursion, so please look forward to that. The week of March 29th is our trimester 2 growth and achievement community meetings, which we always end the trimester with those meetings. And as Mr. Barley said earlier in the meeting, that April 13th and April 27th will be our SAT school day. And last but not least, as I mentioned before, Mr. Grant is working and the person who is actually point for Black History Month events. So I know he's working very hard to make sure that we really celebrate influential individuals who have paved the way for all of us. And so please bear that in mind. Read your emails. Pay close attention to the info spotlight. What's some of the activities during ensemble. You're going to hear a lot about this, and so we want you to be excited about it. So keep that in mind.
Okay, and then just really quick, all of the juniors, I'm going to be messaging this out right now, but all of the juniors need to complete this form. So this Friday, SUNY is coming to meet with all of you, and they require you to register beforehand. So please make sure you fill this form out today to make sure that you are registered to meet with SUNY colleges this Friday. And then Ms. Keene, if you want to wrap things up.
I do want to wrap things up, and I hope you saw my notes. Huge amends to Malaysia. Her name was missing from the senior capstone project slide. And Malaysia's project is phenomenal, one of the strongest, and so sorry, that was just an error. Real quick, I would like to huddle with the seniors for a second. All right, so I just, again, please speak up if you need help, keep working hard, stay focused on the present, and juniors, you can certainly stay, but seniors, please stay on for a second. There's just a couple of things I want to specifically speak to you about. All right, so one of them is, I think way back when I talked a little bit about my story when I was in high school. I feel like I remember this at Summer Bridge or something like that. But I just want you all to know that part of my story is that the reason why I love working in a high school is because when I was growing up and when I was your age, I was living with my single mom, and I could not and did not think I was going to go to college, to the point where really the only reason why I applied was because one of my friend's dads noticed that I hadn't applied and offered to help me complete my FAFSA. And I remember that, it wasn't like my mom didn't want me to go to college, but it was more than she could manage. And nobody could bring me around to schools and things like that. So one of the reasons why I work in a high school and why I care about, why I stress you asking for help if you need it, is because if I hadn't gotten help, I wouldn't be sitting here right now in front of you. And I've now received degrees from 3 universities, right? And I know that you guys know I went to the Harvard Graduate School of Education. Well, there was a time when I never thought that that was going to be part of anything I ever did. And that's the truth. And it is a huge part of what calls me to show up every day. The second thing I wanted to share is we talked a lot about college, and I just want to make sure you understand that part of the reason why we're trying to get you to apply and have that is because part of our job is to make sure you have all those options, right? But there are also lots of other post-secondary paths, but we need to make sure that you have as many options as possible. And so no matter how you might be thinking right now, because again, to be honest, when I was a junior, I wasn't thinking that I was going to go to college. Even I applied to 2 schools. That's it. Because that was how confident I was. And I had good grades. Wasn't anything like that. So when we talk about college, we're really wanting to make sure you have that option. I also understand that there are other post-secondary endeavors, and I want to make sure that you know that we want to celebrate and honor those too. So let's say you get hooked up and you're doing an internship. Some of you, I found out, were doing some cool stuff. We want to make sure to give you leadership credit for that and also highlight that as well on social media or whatever. As you start to think about your purpose in the future, if you want somebody to talk to, I'm always here, but also just remember, we want to expose you to as much as possible and make sure that college is an option for everybody, because you deserve to have that option. And the last thing I wanted to say is I know that some of you were working with Daniel Williams, our assistant principal in AP English. And I know that he's spoken with you, but I just want to publicly thank him for his work with the AP English students. We have struggled in remote to recruit students. And, Rachel Todd, shout out to Rachel, who recently helped. She helped us at a recruitment fair. I don't know if you remember, those of you that used to help us, right? We would have jam-packed rooms for recruitment. And it's really tough right now. It's super hard, as you can imagine, just communicating, trying to get people to know about a Zoom and all of that. But we're trying, but our numbers are not where they need to be, guys. And so unfortunately, sometimes when that happens in a school, it impacts the budget. And so Mr. Williams, he is transitioning out of our community because of that budget impact. And that was a very difficult decision. And I know for those of you that were working with him, that you've been impacted by that. And I want to appreciate Mr. Bouchard for stepping up and taking on AP English, but definitely wanted to acknowledge Mr. Williams' contributions and wish him the best. All right. I know that there have been also some other updates around staffing changes that have impacted some of you. And we are trying to make sure that every single one of you gets a conversation that you need to have so that you have clear information about the why, the what, and the what next, right? So if that hasn't happened for you yet, again, opportunity, name it, say it out loud. I don't know what's going on with X, Y, and Z. We're doing our best to get those changes communicated to you, but it takes time, especially when things happen really short notice, right? So really short notice. Last week, Mr. Morris communicated that he was going to be leaving our community, and he left 2 days after that. And I know that for some of you, whether it's ensemble or because you're a music student, you may not even know that yet. And Mr. Williams and I met with music students on Tuesday. We'll be meeting with music students tomorrow. I met with the ensemble yesterday. I'm going to be following up with those of you that were not in ensemble. And I'm very sorry that that was a disruption, potentially hurtful, potentially confusing. And thank God that Mr. Williams and all 53 of our staff are here to support all of you, always. And so as we work to make sense and work through that particular situation or any situation, again, let's stay mindful of the present moment and who we have around us to continue to create. And I know as far as music is concerned, Mr. Williams is 100% committed to ensuring that you do continue to create music. All right. And yeah, I just wanted to share some of those things directly with you guys. And if you want to follow up, just shoot me an email, but I will certainly be following up with some of you.
Can I quickly say one thing, Principal King?
Sure thing.
You know, to my students, I want to say again, it's been more than a pleasure and a privilege working with you and teaching you this year, and also seeing you grow. I know it's been a very short time since the beginning of the year, but I've seen so much growth in the little bit of time that we were able to spend together. If I think the last thing I want to say to you is never underestimate your ability to change the world. That probably sounds a bit cliche. You probably heard it a lot, but I genuinely do mean that. You can and you will do whatever you want to do in this world as long as you continue to put your mind to it, as long as you keep putting effort behind it. Never let somebody tell you what you can or can't accomplish. All right. And please don't hesitate to reach out if you need me.
Thanks so much. All right, we're going to close this meeting, and R1 reflection is in 3 minutes. So if you got that notification that you have an incomplete, please hustle to R1 so you can get that support. And have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day.